Folks, the internet has been remarkably calm this week. Not much going on, just sort of clean, easy sailing. That is, of course, a joke. It has been a shit show. I'm talking, of course, about the internet's typically very sane and rational response to the Oscar nominations. A week ago, put up a video on the channel explaining how I was sort of done with award season. It's all nonsense, isn't it? As such, you can imagine I wasn't particularly invested in the nominations this year, although I am Twitter-based, so I obviously saw a lot of reaction to said nominations. As such, I find myself in the position where I'm back in front of you with the camera on, talking again about, I suppose, Oscar-related content. I didn't want to have to do it, but here we are. But I want to talk specifically about the way that the internet reacts to bigger films in relation to award season, and how that highlights exactly what I was talking about in my previous award season video, that nonsensical nature of trying to award specific films based on merit in a year filled with hundreds of other films. Barbie is, as much as I think weirdly the discourse at the moment might be suggesting otherwise, one of the more awarded films of the year. It took home 8 nominations across the board, which is very, very good. But there are, from what I can gather, 2 categories people are frustrated about Barbie not being nominated for, and those are Best Director and Best Actress. There have been various different tweets and opinion pieces popping up online that you may well have seen. Tweets like this one: you have to be a leading lady, but you can't be nominated for Best Actress. You have to be a strong female director, but you can't be nominated for Best Director. Referencing, of course, the speech from America Ferrera in the Barbie film, in which she's highlighting the fact that women seem to have to do more to be recognised. It's a very strange tweet, this one, because it uses that speech to sort of suggest that leading actresses, leading female directors haven't been nominated and are being shut out. It doesn't take a genius to notice that there is an entire Best Actress selection of fantastic female performances. There were many great female performances in the year that are being awarded, just not one specific one, and there are strong female directors that are being awarded at this year's Oscars. I mean, obviously there are many more fantastic female directors in the year who I think should be awarded for all of the stuff they're doing. But for acting, Barbie is equally as strange a film to use here in this argument, because it has been nominated for acting. America Ferrera is taking a nomination for her supporting role in the film, and I cannot help but feel slightly bad for her at this point, because her successful nomination is clouded by the fact that people are annoyed that Margot didn't also get it, or she was a deserving actress in this film. The idea that Margot Robbie is the only kind of real, true way of showing a celebration of this film, and anyone else wasn't the real, genuine thing or something. There's tweets like this one. And let's not act like Barbie was just another Marvel movie or something. Greta Gerwig imagined a high-concept commentary on modern feminism, masculinity and gender roles that centred the female audience first and foremost, and still made $1 billion. This kind of ingraining of box office, of making $1 billion as this kind of, look at this cultural monolith, we must award it with everything to prove that it was great. Firstly, I have to reiterate, it is being awarded with a lot. It's up for Best Picture, the top award at the Oscars. So it is being awarded for its success. And I think that clearly misses the point with what I suppose a lot of people would suggest award season about. It's either a popularity contest or it's a contest about what was the better film in the year. If you subscribe to the idea of award season being about merit, you have to understand, I assume, that there are many, many other films and that your idea of merit is different to other people's idea of merit, and that may well be why your film that you loved the most didn't get nominated. If you subscribe to the idea of popularity, in much the same sense, you have to understand that it's, I suppose, subjective, and that there are many other films, and that Barbie has been awarded much more than other films. So when it comes to arguments like, why didn't it get these awards when it was nominated for these ones, I think it just kind of falls apart as soon as you start to engage with it on any of those 2 ways of looking at this. And we've had a bunch of opinion pieces online this week from a bunch of notable publications. If only Barbie had done a little time as a sex worker, or barely survived becoming the next victim in a mass murder plot, or stood accused of shoving Ken out of the dream house's top window. This feels misjudged, to put it lightly, because it's not just about the way that it seems to disregard those other films that are dealing with feminism in different ways as the wrong way to do it, and somehow Barbie, the big toy film, was the right way to do it, so why aren't we celebrating this? I mean, to summarise Killers of a Flower Moon's gender perspective as barely surviving becoming the next victim in a mass murder plot is... But in a year when Barbie takes home 8 nominations, including Best Picture, when it is getting acting nominations, when Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig are being nominated for their film, just not in a directing and acting sense, it is so strange to me to be this angry about it not receiving two very specific nominations. It ignores many other great work from many other female directors, female writers, female performers. And I think it does end up hurting things more than it ends up doing good. Because none of this for a second changes what Barbie was able to do, right? It doesn't change the fact that it was this huge cultural phenomenon. It doesn't change the fact that Greta Gerwig did do such a smart and clever job. It's kind of sad that you lose sight of all of that when you start arguing about all of this stuff, which is, at the end of the day, kind of nonsense. It is exactly the reason why I called the Oscars and award season nonsensical in my video last week in the first place. You'd be forgiven for thinking from this loud noise online that there were no films nominated this year about gender perspectives, about the patriarchy that have a feminist edge to them, that there were no great female performances nominated this year, and that there were no great female directors nominated this year. And I cannot believe I'm sat here talking at the camera for a second time about award season.